Hey guys, Kyle and Adam here from ProjectionHub. We are back with another, I guess what we used to call SBA burning question video, but in general, just we like to take real life questions, real life scenarios about people who are coming into contact with the SBA process, whether that's to start a business, expand a business, maybe buy a business, and kind of weigh in on our thoughts in this scenario. So today we've got a Reddit post of an individual who was considering, buying a business, an acquisition prospect, and we're gonna kind of run through the scenario here and then get Adam's take on how he would advise this person if he was talking to them. All right, so here we go. Seller is asking for $910,000 on their business, $165,000 in seller's discretionary earnings, semi-absentee. So I've been going back and forth with this business owner, and I'm truly lost on how to value this upscale waxing salon business. Gross revenue is about 1.65 million. Seller's discretionary earnings is 265,000. 100,000 general manager salary brings an EBITDA to 200 to 165,000. Owner seems like a straight shooter, experienced in the business, and the family, I guess, wants to relocate and is away from the business a good chunk. So that's why they say semi-absentee. He's offered it at 1.2 million and brought it down to 910,000 with the following: 750,000 cash from an SBA loan, 160,000 seller note maturing at 24 months. Couple of notes: lease and franchise agreement end in 2030, but I've told him the purchase will be consistent on executing a fair lease extension. Owner has other businesses he would rather scale, so he doesn't really do much marketing. I have a full-time job and will not quit, so general manager is a must, but I'm willing to put in the work to grow it. Only thing is, it's the highest grossing location of the franchise in a competitive area, so it's likely not ready for growth exactly. It's not a fixer-upper, remodeled a few years ago with newest tech, has 20 employees, and is consistent, roughly 2% fluctuation in revenue. I'm not sure if I'm getting screwed here or not. I likely get about 45 to 55,000 in cash flow every year after debt service. Can someone experienced please weigh in here? I'm on the fence and need to answer back soon. And there's a couple of updates down at the bottom. We will reveal those at the end, but first let's get Adam's take on this one.
Yeah, so I think the 1.2 million original purchase price was just way out of line, way too expensive. The structure they had there with the $750,000 SBA loan. So I have this little printout here that kind of gives me an idea of what kind of cash flow you need to get a certain loan. So at a $75,000 or $750,000 loan, 10-year term, 10% interest rate, you'd need cash flow of 148,000. So they've got 165. So it's kind of tight. But then you've got the $160,000 seller note that you also have to be paying on. And depending on the terms there, it says maturing at 24 months. So I don't know if that means it's going to be paid off. And if that is going to be paid off in even payments over 24 months, that kills the cash flow and it won't work. If it's like interest only and then they got to pay off a balloon payment after 24 months, maybe that could work.
Also, is that even possible with SBA? Doesn't the SBA loan need to be resolved before the seller's note?
Only if they're trying to use any of that seller note as equity in the deal. But I guess it actually doesn't even talk about putting any equity in here.
Part of that has to be from the SBA portion, right?
750 plus 160 is the
910.
So, hey, real quick interruption just to remind you that I offer a free SBA review. As a longtime SBA lender and financial projection expert, I've seen thousands and thousands of loan applications. So I'll give you honest feedback and advice on your odds of getting approved for an SBA loan before you even apply, and try to point you in the right direction based on your specific deal. We'll put a link in the description of the video below to that free SBA review form, so you can fill that out. All right, back to the video. The buyer's going to have to put in 10% down, so roughly 90 grand. So anyway, I think there's some challenges there. I also am concerned about, being semi-absentee and they're going to keep their job. I'm guessing they'll probably be able to make the loan payments. It's just if it's not easy to grow, which they commented it's probably not, then I don't know if there's really any upside. They're taking quite a bit of risk with a big SBA loan, and it just seems like there's not a lot of upside. My math does not work out to 45 to 55,000 in cash flow after debt service. I think it will be less than that. So I think it's probably one to avoid, which I guess are updates here, passed on the offer after months of back and forth. So
yeah, I think that's anytime semi-absentee or like passive businesses, I feel like 9 times out of 10 are maybe sound cool, like make money without having to do a lot. But I feel like they just, and it's also not something I think lenders really get interested in. I don't know. I like SBA lenders. I don't think SBA is like in the habit of funding passive income businesses. Like it's not its real sweet spot of ones they like to get involved. Like for you to be like, I don't really know much about this industry, but I think it just, I swap in for the owner and I make the money. Like, I think it's probably got to be a really, really good opportunity in a business to do that and not like a borderline profitable one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think lender would probably want that general manager to be like a partner, maybe like a small percentage owner or something, since it says like, I'm not going to quit my job. So the GM is a must. If it's that particular GM that's important, then you probably need to make him an owner.
Is there a price, if you're the lender, is there a price where you would be willing? So like if, let's say this guy came down from 1.2 million to 910,000 seemingly pretty fast. So, $300,000 decrease there just in some conversation. I assume he's going to have some difficulty selling it unless it's to like a competitor or someone maybe that owns a business nearby. How far down does that have to come, do you think, before a lender gets interested?
I think I would like it okay at the 750. So if you just got rid of that seller note, like just say, hey, we're not doing a seller note, but we'll get you your full purchase price all with SBA. You could do that, and then that equity down payment that they're going to put in, 10% of that, so roughly 75,000. That's going to cover loan closing costs, SBA guarantee fees, and then leave them with some working capital and let the seller get the 750 all at close. Like, I think that probably works and maybe reduces the risk enough to make it worth it.
Cool. There you have it. Quick breakdown of potential acquisition here. And, more often than not, I think reviewing a potential acquisition opportunity, a lot of times it ends in being, a no. And I think that that's okay. People are searching to buy a business. And like this case, this person isn't looking for a full-time new thing to focus on. Maybe it's outside of their experience, but this is kind of the reality, I think, of a lot of people searching for businesses to buy. And also the reality is a lot of these businesses will probably end up maybe not being acquired or will have to come down in price until it makes sense. So if you're out there, you're shopping for businesses or potentially reviewing an opportunity and you would like some expert, third-party feedback, whether that's on the valuation or even just how you think it's going to play in an SBA application, feel free to fill out our free SBA review, link down below. Just ask some high-level questions to give us a quick rundown on the scenario, and then you'll get some customized feedback from Adam on what he thinks about the deal, just like we did in this video. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks.